What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy P here, back with all the news after week number 7 in our San Francisco 49ers franchise, where the Niners picked up a crucial victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're actually getting ready to go into our bye week, but before we do that, let's check out some of the highlights. The Bucs would start off with the ball, and Doug Martin keeping the drive alive there. That would lead to Arik Armstead getting Jameis Winston there. However, the Bucs would kick a field goal on the opening drive to take a 3-0 lead. A little bit later, Gabbert trying to answer, but he is going down. Lavonte David would get the sack. That'd bring up a 3rd and 19, trying to go down the left side. Chris Conte gonna come down with it for the Tampa Bay defense there. That would get them the ball back. 1st and 10 though, nowhere for Winston to go. Dial in on the sack with Chris Davis. 1st and 10 again. This time it's Dial all by himself. Later on in the second quarter, 3rd and 8 to the end zone. Torrey Smith has the touchdown, and the 49ers would take a 7-3 lead over the Buccaneers, but they are looking to answer, and it is Ronnie Hillman who picked up the phone with a great spin move, fooling Chris Davis on the play. He would take it for a 58-yard touchdown run to get the Buccaneers back on top, trying to not be outdone. Gabbert and the Niners looking to answer, and this is a one-handed grab by Quentin Patton. 1st and 10 at the 21 later in the drive, and the tackle, John Theus, the rookie from Georgia, fooling the defense, and he would have the touchdown for the 49ers, who went up 14-10. And then later on, Vance McDonald, right before halftime, gonna break some tackles, get the 49ers into field goal range, and they would capitalize on a Phil Dawson field goal, putting them up 17-10 at halftime. Early on in the third quarter, Quentin Patton over the middle down to about midfield there, and then on a wide receiver screen, Quentin Patton would take it to the house to put his team up by 2, 24-10. The Buccaneers trying to get back in this one. It's not happening. Antoine Bethea with the pick 6, putting the 49ers up 31-10. However, the Buccaneers would start to get into some rhythm offensively, and Doug Martin gonna have a great juke on the play. A nice spin there, taking it all the way down to about the 7-yard line before getting taken down there. That would set up this next touchdown. It'll be a 1st and goal, and Ronnie Hillman for the second time today into the end zone. 31-17 is going to be the score. The Niners though are looking to answer, and Garrett Selleck will deliver. 38-17 is the score. The 49ers up by 3 touchdowns. However, the fourth quarter belonged to the Bucs. This is Austin Seferian-Jenkins keeping the drive alive on a 3rd and 14. Then it is 3rd and goal to the end zone. Doug Martin has the catch. That would get the Bucs within 2. Later on, they have the ball back. Under 4 minutes to go now on the left side. This is going to be caught at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, pressure coming. Dial would get pressure on him there. That would bring up 4th and 15. Jameis Winston finding Vincent Jackson all the way to the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, but then Arik Armstead returning from injury, getting the sack. That'll make it 3rd and 8 here, and Vincent Jackson converting another 1st down there. And then Austin Seferian-Jenkins into the end zone for the Buccaneers. It is all coming down to an onside kick. The Bucs are back within 7, and here it goes. The 49ers looking to recover, and Chris Owusu will do just that. He would get the 49ers the ball. They do still need a 1st down, and Carlos Hyde is the man to make it happen. All that's left after that is to take a few knees, and the 49ers would win 38-31 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though it's a bye week, we still have some practices to do, and we are going to be focusing on offense, attacking the cover 4 today. And we'll see what Blaine Gabbert can do. Coming off the best game of the season for Blaine Gabbert, in which he threw 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He also threw for 300 yards on the day. Let's get going with practice. We need to get some 1st downs here, and Vance McDonald does not deliver there. On the second attempt, looking down the field, and Quentin Patton will deliver the 1st down. Pressure on the way. Gabbert going to find Carlos Hyde for a 1st. A little bit later on, trying again. We didn't get the gold there. Quentin Patton over the middle has a nice grab there. Second play, looking for a big one, and Blaine Gabbert gonna run for it this time, and that will do the trick. 3rd time is the charm, or it's not. The defense gonna get the Gabbert there. That'll make it fourth attempt, and Smith would deliver. The 49ers would not go for it again, so we are going to settle for a silver here as Blaine Gabbert gets hit as he threw the ball there. That is going to be it for the practice. We're content with silver. Gabbert deserves a break a little bit after that last game. Let's go ahead and answer some questions from the media. First up, we have Jack Ragland. With Quentin Patton's lack of production, is his starting job safe? Right now it is, only because none of the other wide receivers have really stepped up to earn it. We've seen every wide receiver look very good at times, and then every wide receiver drop some passes at times, none of which have been very reliable, at least not to the point of us making a move there. James Ashley III, are you planning on running more of a zone or man coverage moving forward? We're planning on running a bit of both, but what I really want to do is find some lockdown man corners. That is going to be key for our defense. I don't think we have those players yet, but that is something we're going to be looking for. However, we will play whatever defense suits us more. If we find better zone coverage guys, that's what we'll be doing. Otherwise, we are going to be looking for some nice man coverage guys. And the last question has been asked by a lot of people. I did answer this earlier, but it's still being asked, so I will answer it again. Are you planning on relocating? No, we are not. The 49ers just aren't a team that you can relocate. For one, they have a brand new stadium, so there's really no point. And more than that, they are a historic franchise, just one of those teams that will not be moving. But yeah, that's going to be it for the press questions. Let's go ahead and check out the games from around the NFL. We have the Packers taking on the Bears in the Thursday night game, 27-14. The Packers going to beat the Bears. 4-2 now for the Packers. The Bears falling to 2-5. Aaron Rodgers throwing 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. Langford getting the only touchdown on the ground. Randall Cobb getting a touchdown. Zach Miller getting a touchdown. And then the tight end, or the fullback, I'm sorry, is going to get one for the Packers as well. Trevathan leading the way in tackles with 13 sacks. 3 for Clay Matthews. Interceptions, we have 3. Trevathan, Perry, and Shields going to make it happen there. Next up, we have the Rams. 4 fumbles forced, actually. I apologize. 4. Man, only 3 of which would be recovered by Young, Bryant, and Washington. The Rams taking on the Giants, 20-17. The Rams would get the victory. The Rams continuing to play well at 5-2 now. The Giants falling to 4-3 on the season. 2 interceptions there for Eli. Todd Gurley with a nice game, over 100 yards, only 3.5 yards a carry, but he did get a touchdown as well. Victor Cruz continues to play well for the Vikings there, finding his way into the end zone as well. Not a good game from Odell Beckham, though. Sacks, we have 3 by Michael Brockers, 2 for Vernon, 1 for Jason Pierre-Paul, Bromley, and Quinn. Interceptions, 2 for E.J. Gaines, 1 for Brad Jones there. Fumbles forced, let's see what we got. And 1 by Keenan Robinson. He would recover that fumble as well. 35-18, the Chiefs going to take down the Saints. The Chiefs improved to 4-2 on the season. The Saints fall to 2-4, and Alex Smith, an outstanding game, out-dueling Drew Brees there. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions on the day. West going to find his way into the end zone. The Saints ran for a touchdown as well. Jeremy Maclin, 8 catches for 2 touchdowns to go with his 51 yards there. Defensively, Ellerby leading the way with 13 tackles. Laurinaitis with 11 sacks. We have 1 for Tamba Ali, 1 for Dontari Poe, and a few players going to split a sack as well. Interceptions, 1 by Ron Parker. Fumbles forced, let's see what we got. And Ron Parker going to force a fumble as well. James Laurinaitis and Briu, if I said that correctly. None of those are going to be recovered, though. 38-24, the Titans getting the victory over the Colts. The Titans improved to 3-4 on the season. The Colts fall to 4-3, and they were doing pretty good with Scott Tolzien in the game. Andrew Luck comes back, and they didn't get the win. He threw 2 touchdowns. He also threw 2 interceptions on the day, though. Delaney Walker going to have a touchdown in this game for the Titans. As we scroll down defensively, McCourty leading the way with 11 tackles, 1 sack by Robert Mathis. A few players going to split a sack as well. 2 interceptions for Wesley Woodyard out of Kentucky, the middle linebacker there. And then fumbles forced, we have 2, 1 by DeQuell Jackson, 1 by Carl Klug, and they would both recover those fumbles as well. 21-9, the Eagles taking down the Vikings. The Eagles getting their 2nd win of the season. They are now 2-4. The Vikings falling to 4-2. Not a good game by any of the quarterbacks, not a single touchdown thrown. This game was won based on some touchdown runs. Smallwood is going to find his way into the end zone twice on his 9 carries. Wright, though, did have a pretty solid game with 92 yards receiving. Again, though, didn't find his way into the end zone. Defensively, Audie Cole going to lead the way in tackles there. Sacks, we have 1.5 by Connor Barwin. Joseph and Robinson each getting 1 as well. And then a few players splitting a half a sack. Chris Cook going to have a interception on the day. And then we got fumbles forced, 1 by Keenan Lewis and 1 by Grugier Hill, a rookie out of Eastern Illinois. They would each recover those. 42-23, the Bengals taking down this good Cleveland Browns team. The Bengals improved to 3-3-1. The Browns fall to 5-2 on the season. Even though it's only their second loss, they've come in recent weeks here. So maybe the Browns, not playing as well, maybe losing a little bit of momentum. 94 yards and a touchdown for A.J. Green. Pryor with a great game as well. 97 yards for him. Defensively, Carlos Dunlap, 10 tackles on the day, and then a whole plethora of sacks in this game. Interceptions, we have 1 by Dre Kirkpatrick. Fumbles forced, let's see what we got. We got 1 fumble forced by Dunlap and 1 by Brown. Neither of those fumbles would be recovered. Next up, 41-27, the Redskins are going to send the Lions to their first loss on the season. And look at Kirk Cousins, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Redskins improved to 3-4. The Lions falling to 6-1 on the year. And an outstanding game by Kirk Cousins. But look at Golden Tate trying to get the Lions the win there. Had 3 touchdown catches on the day. Just not enough to match the production from the Redskins receivers. Those 16 tackles by Levy, 2 sacks by Kerrigan, 1 by Baker. Some guys going to split a sack there. D'Angelo Hall, Slay, and Norman getting the interceptions on the day. And we have no fumbles forced in this game. 33-27, the Raiders would take down the Jags. The Raiders improved to 3-4. The Jags fall to 3-3 on the season. Derek Carr, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Bortle with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Felton going to have the only touchdown run of the day for the Jags there. Receiving, Julius Thomas, 9 catches and a touchdown. Allen Robinson goes for 119 yards. But look at Cooper. Or was that Holmes? 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Pazlesny leading the way with 12 tackles, 2 sacks for Khalil Mack, 1 for Aldon Smith. A few Jags going to get some sacks there as well. 3 interceptions on the day of Mukamara and Smith for the Jags. Fumbles forced, we have 1 by TJ Carey. He would also recover that fumble as well for the Raiders. 31-13, the Bills taking down the Dolphins. The Bills improved to 5-1 on the season. The Dolphins fall to 2-5. Few interceptions by Tannehill in the game today, but McCoy, 123 yards and 3 touchdowns for him. Jordan Cameron with a touchdown as well, receiving for the Dolphins there. Defensively, Zach Brown leading the way with 9 tackles on the day. 1.5 sacks for the rookie Washington. We have seen him play very well for this Bills defense. Zach Brown and Gilmore going to have the interceptions on the day. And then fumbles, we have none happening. 26-20, the Jets going to beat the Ravens here. The Jets improved to 3-4. The Ravens 1-6 on the season. Joe Flacco not throwing an interception today. He also threw for a lot of yards, but only 1 touchdown through the air for him. That is not going to get it done today. We've seen him struggle quite a lot this season, but he didn't turn it over much today. Mosley leading the way with tackles, 1.5 sacks for Wilkerson there. Interceptions, none happening. Fumbles forced, and 3 fumbles. Williams, Harris, and Levine Sr. are going to force the fumbles. Only Harris would Williams would recover his. 21-14, the Chargers taking down the Falcons. The Chargers improved to 6-1, tying the Lions for the best record in the NFL. The Falcons falling to 4-3. Phillip Rivers, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on the day for him. No rushing touchdowns in the game. We see Keenan Allen with 2 touchdown catches there, continuing to play well for the Charger team here. DeMarco and Williams each going to have a touchdown as well. Defensively, Manti Te'o leading the way in tackles with Warlow and Ishmael. 1 sack by Manti Te'o as well. Whitner is going to split a sack there. No interceptions on the day. Fumbles forced. We're going to have a lot in this one. 5 fumbles forced in today's game. Unbelievable. 3 of which would be recovered there. 42-31, the Steelers beating the Patriots. The Steelers improved to 4-3. The Patriots struggling this season, falling to 3-1. Tom Brady did have a good game. It just wasn't enough. And part of that is Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown have been destroying teams this season. Brown did have 80 yards and a touchdown, which is kind of a low-key game for him. But those two players have just been annihilating teams, and somehow the Steelers are still finding ways to lose. I would anticipate they'd have a better record than 4-3 based on their stats, offensive stats anyway, but it just hadn't happened yet. 3 interceptions on the day, fumbles forced, none on the day. That'll take us to the Seahawks and Cardinals, 34-28. The Seahawks would get the victory to improve to 3-3. The Cardinals continuing to struggle, falling to 1-6 on the season. Certainly not where they anticipated being at this point in the season. I don't know what happened there, what got in the water in Arizona, but things are not going well for the Cardinals right now, and it might be too late to turn their season around unless they just go on an absurd 9-game win streak. I don't know if it's going to happen. Rucker leading the way with 1 sack, the only sack. Patrick Peterson getting an interception, the only solo sack, I should say. 1 fumble forced by Bennett, and nobody would recover. Then last game of the week, we have the Broncos taking on the Texans 28-0 in a shutout victory. Paxton Lynch, a great game, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Broncos improved to 2-5. The Texans fall to 3-4. So, you know, Paxton Lynch hasn't been playing very well, but he certainly got it done today against this Texans defense. I don't know what happened with them. Wolf going to have 2 sacks. DeMarcus Ware with 2 sacks. And I really think, you know, it might have been aided by the Broncos defense, obviously. But the Texans defense usually pretty reliable. Just didn't happen today. Darian Stewart would force the only fumble and recover it. Kirk Cousins, 24-31, 6 passing touchdowns for him. Clay Matthews with 3 sacks. Ron Parker, 9 tackles, an interception, and a fumble forced. And then Mariota, 20 of 26, 237 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns as well. We're going to scout a few quarterbacks as well as some defensive players. Thomas Bobo out of Nebraska. Might not be that great of a pickup. Another quarterback out of Nebraska. Now, this is the 3rd quarterback out of Nebraska. This guy's a mobile guy. Might be worth keeping an eye on in the 2nd round if we see something else we like in the 1st round. Shamir Morant out of USC. Not really liking what I see here, but again, maybe somebody worth keeping an eye on if nothing else. He does have good throw power. Defensively, we see a 6'2 corner projected to go in the 4th round, but his talent is saying 7th round, so we're not feeling it. But Antron Marion, projected in the 7th round, looks very good for a 2nd round guy, might have a lot of potential. Then Harris Blevins out of Michigan State. We are looking for another middle linebacker. This guy is looking pretty solid. Another middle linebacker that we are going to have to scout further is Roy Lacy, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this guy. Of course, we do need to find out what that 3rd stat is for him, but overall looking pretty good. That is going to be it for all the news. We are going to have a 2nd news video coming out after this. We have a bye week. We're probably going to look at all the stats as a whole and maybe take a look at the standings as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys there. Later.